Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking all about my eyebrows. I have been wanting to do a dedicated eyebrow video for quite a while. I decided today was the day, and I'm just going to kind of talk through how I do my brows, my favorite products, and kind of how I've evolved over the years. So if you're interested in that, please keep watching. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of makeup content here on my channel. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I hope you'll subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into everything about my eyebrows. Okay, so today's video is going to be pretty quick and to the point. I wanted to do a full video about eyebrows. Eyebrows are one of my favorite things ever. I just love to try brow products. I just love eyebrows in general because I feel like they really give personality to your face. They really frame your face. When people say that, kind of sounds cliche, but it really is true. Eyebrows make the biggest difference. When I look at older pictures of myself when I first started wearing makeup, I didn't do anything to my eyebrows, and I do not recognize myself when I see older pictures of me. It's so funny. I actually remember the first time that someone filled in my eyebrows, and it was life-changing, truly. So I remember I went into Sephora. This was right when I was getting pretty into makeup, right about the time I guess discovered YouTube, maybe a little before then, but we went into a Sephora. It was me and my mom, and I can't remember if we were just looking at brow products, and this lady that worked at Sephora came up to us, and she said something to me, and we kind of told her that we were interested in eyebrow, or like an eyebrow pencil, and she's like, oh, well, I'll show you a few that I like. I'll do them for you. I had nothing on my eyebrows at this point, and I remember it was a Tarte eyebrow pencil. I don't even know if they still make it anymore, but that was the first eyebrow pencil I ever used. And I remember when we left, my mom and I just kept talking about how we could not believe how much it changed my face. So the point being, eyebrows are very important, and I feel like it's taken me years to figure out exactly how I like my eyebrows. And I just kind of wanted to talk through it and do them real quickly, and I'll give you some of my tips, if you could call it that, tricks with eyebrows along the way. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to talk about is this, or these, okay? These are Tweezerman tweezers. These can be your best friend, and they can also be your worst enemy. My biggest advice when it comes to eyebrows is the less you touch them, the better, in my opinion. I have found that the less I pluck, trim, wax, whatever you want to call it, I like my brows less and less and less the more I do to them. It's kind of the same with my hair. This kind of reminded me of it. I just had my hair colored, and this is almost exactly my natural hair color. It just has a little bit of these lighter pieces. That's when my hair looks the best to me. And same with eyebrows. The less I do, the better they look, in my opinion. So I'm all for using a pair of tweezers. I sometimes tweeze right here in between my brows. I get random brows from time to time. I also get them way low down here, way outside of my brow shape. Those I think are fine to kind of pluck when you see them pop up. But other than that, I really don't touch my eyebrows, truly. In fact, in my whole life, I think I've had my brows waxed twice. And it was just a basic brow wax. And all I said was that I just wanted to kind of clean up the bottom and anything that was in the middle, which I could have done myself. But I've had that done twice. That's the only thing I've ever had done to my eyebrows. And honestly, I don't feel it's that necessary because I can do everything I want to myself. So that's tip number one. Use tweezers very, very sparingly, and don't go ham, don't go crazy. Leave your brows alone is my main advice there. All right, tip number 2. Get yourself a pair of these little scissors. These are also from Tweezerman, and another tip, Tweezerman tweezers are pretty expensive, but lately I have found a lot of them at TJ Maxx or Marshalls, so if you need a pair, look there because they're usually a lot cheaper if you can find them there. And I think I also got these there. These are also from Tweezerman. These, again, can be your best friend, but you do not want to go ham clipping your eyebrows. Again, I very rarely clip anything. Maybe like, I don't know, once a month I might barely trim my eyebrows, but that's about it. And when I do it, what I do is I just take a spoolie, I brush them all the way up, and then once I get to kind of the arch area, I kind of start brushing them outward. I just clipped these a few days ago. I should have waited to film this video, but basically you want to push them up, and anything that looks abnormally longer than the rest, you can very, very slightly clip it. But okay, like I see one little spot right here that's just like, and I don't even know if you saw that at all, but there was like one little hair right there that was a little bit taller than the rest, but literally that's all I do. I know some people also say to go like this and brush them down and kind of clip that way. I don't do that. I feel like you will over trim unless you're like a brow expert. So I typically don't do that. I really only trim them when they're brushed up, and I do it like once a month. One other thing I wanted to mention is I have recently started using these, and they are in my everyday routine now. And they're just these little disposable spoolies. And I personally use them for my Patrick Ta brow wax. If you watch my videos, you know that already. Even if you don't use a brow wax, I still think you could benefit from using one of these. Sometimes if you use a pencil in your brows and you kind of overdo it, or you use an eyeshadow to fill in your brows and you kind of overdo it, you can take one of these little spoolies, and they really do help distribute product through your brows. And if you use one of these, you don't have to ruin your spoolies that come on your brow pencils. If you use a brow pencil, a lot of them have spoolies on one end, and if you get a bunch of product built up in there, you can't really fix that after you do it. So if you use these, you don't have to worry about that. Now, let's talk about brow products. I will start out with the most obvious one if you watch my videos, but my favorite thing I've discovered probably in 2021 is this. This is such a good brow wax, you guys. And I know I sound like a broken record, but this is so good. I have never used anything like this. This was the first time I've ever even used a brow wax. Since I used this, I've tried others that I don't like as much. But this one, the Patrick Ta Major Brow Shaping Wax in clear, was my first experience with a brow wax. And hopefully you can see, I've hit pan on this brow wax. I still have a little bit left around the edge right here, but that is remarkable for me because I do not use up products, hardly ever. And if I do, it means I truly, truly love something. And I will definitely be buying another clear one of these during the Sephora sale that should be next month in October sometime. There's nothing I don't like about this. There's nothing I don't like about this. It is so good if you like extreme hold in your brows, and especially if you like the fluffy eyebrow look that's very on trend right now. I really don't care if it ever goes off trend because I love it always and forever. But this is the product you need. I know it's definitely on the pricey side, and there's other things that I've seen that are supposed to be similar. To me, nothing compares to this. There are things that are close, but not the same. So that's my number one product. I like to go in with that first. So we'll go ahead and do that. I also have the tinted version. I got this one after the clear one. And of the two, I would probably choose the clear just because I like to go in and add color afterwards. But if you want like a one and done brow product, the tinted one is really good, and you have a lot less you need to fill in because this adds color and hold. So we'll go ahead and do this. I'm going to use clear, or maybe I should use tinted, or maybe I'll use one on each brow. Okay, that's what we'll do. Another thing you have to do with this product, you have to spray it with a setting spray. It really doesn't matter which one. I always use Fix Plus because it's the one I always have sitting out here. But if you don't spray this, the consistency is all wrong and you will not like it. So I'm going to spray the tin here, and I'm getting one of these little disposable spoolies, and I'm having to kind of get on the sides to get some product because I'm running low on this. So once you get it pretty good and coated, it should turn into like a gummy paste consistency. And then all you have to do literally is go through your brows and brush them into whatever position, shape you're wanting. So typically I brush the front area up until I get to like the arch of my eyebrow, and then I start kind of brushing outward. So I do that on both brows, and this one I just clipped the other day as well. I don't see anything I really want to fix on this one, so that's why I didn't clip this side with my Tweezerman scissors, but I just brush them up. Something else about this product is you have to use a clean spoolie. That's another reason why I recommend getting these, because I actually have the Patrick Ta brow brush, and this works really well, but unless you want to wash it every single time you use it, you get product built up on here, and then it makes applying it a little more difficult. You get too much product in the brow sometimes, and you get that white buildup look, which is not good. So that's why I use a disposable spoolie. Then I kind of let them sit for like sometimes 5 minutes. Sometimes I go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and then move on to filling them in. It just kind of depends on the day. I just realized I said I was going to do clear on one brow and tinted on the other, and I just got so excited talking that I put the clear on both sides. So anyway, we'll do clear today, but if you watch any of my other videos, you've probably seen me use the tinted one as well. There's not a huge difference. It's just the tinted one adds just that little bit more definition because it has that brown color to it. Okay, now let's talk about brow pencils. I have a pretty decent collection of brow pencils. I feel like I've tried quite a few, and I definitely have my absolute favorite and some others that I also really like. So I wanted to share those with you as well. Number one is the most affordable one. This is so good. It's the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. And this, like I was talking about earlier, has a spoolie on one end, and it is a twist up pencil. Now this pencil, the only difficult part about it is the tip of it is pretty large. So it's a lot more difficult to do hair strokes with this pencil. But the consistency is really good. It's creamy, but not too creamy. And I think it comes in 5 shades, maybe 6 shades, and I think it's $3. It's very affordable, really good. If you want something really cheap to start out with, to kind of play around with, this one is very good. e.l.f. also makes the skinnier version. I don't remember what that one is called. I've actually never tried that one. So I'm not sure about that, but this is very good. I do sometimes like the larger tip of this if I'm trying to fill my brows in really quickly. A lot of times that makes it a little bit easier. But if I want like the actual brow strokes in my brow, I don't typically use this, but it's still a good one. Okay, another brow pencil that I really like, but it's very expensive. I would only recommend this if you just feel like spending money on a brow product. I don't think you really need to, but I do like this one. And it's the Diorshow Brow Styler. So this one also has a spoolie, and this one is a twist up. There is no cap or anything. It just kind of twists up. This one has a very, very fine point, which is a lot easier if you're trying to make like hair-like strokes and make your brows look very natural. I like this. The consistency though reminds me of my favorite brow pencil, which is like less than half the price, and it's the NYX Micro Brow. I've talked about this tons, so I'm not going to go on and on about it, but I use the shade Ash Brown, and I feel like this is the perfect color for my eyebrows. It's waxy so that it stays when you apply it, but it's not so waxy that it's difficult to apply. Sometimes brow pencils, if they're too hard and waxy, they can be kind of difficult. You kind of have to really work to get any product off. This one is just waxy enough and just creamy enough. It's so good, and I think it's $10, so not super cheap, but a lot cheaper than the Dior one. So we're gonna use this one today. You've seen me do this if you watch my videos, but I kind of wanted to do it just in its own video because I love eyebrows, you know? Okay, so I typically will start with my right eyebrow, and I usually kind of make a line where I want my brow to start and kind of connect it to where it starts to get more full right here. Because in the front, on the bottom right here, I don't have very much brow hair. So I kind of start at the base of my nose and go up, and that's where I start my brow. And that's typical for most brows. If you put your pencil on the side of your nose, that is where you should start. Then you go to the side of your nose through your pupil, and that is your arch. And then you do the side of your nose and the edge of your eye, and that's how your brow should end. But for me, usually what I do is I make my little line and kind of fill in at this bottom part and kind of connect where I made the line to where I have these hairs right here. Another thing I find really helpful is hold your pencil pretty far out. Don't hold it up close like you would a pencil, because you're gonna get, your brows are gonna look too harsh, most likely. So I try to hold mine pretty far out, and then I basically just do little strokes in the direction that the hairs are going. So you get the fullness, but you don't, your brows don't look drawn on. I don't like that look. Now everyone is different, but for me, I like the natural eyebrow. I like to see texture in my eyebrow. I do not want blocks on my face. It's kind of one of those things where it just, especially the older you get, it's just not that flattering to have brows that look drawn on. I don't know. Something about that I just do not like. I don't like it. I don't think I would ever get my brows microbladed, just because, number one, I actually kind of like filling in my eyebrows. I know that's kind of weird. I know a lot of people don't like filling in their brows, but I actually kind of do like it. And I don't know, I just like to see the texture. You know what I mean? Okay, so this brow, that's really all I do. The other thing I kind of work on is my brows on both sides are a little sparse up here, like where it arches. So I slightly draw little lines there and kind of fill in. But I don't, again, I don't do a lot. And then I always go back through with a spoolie. Sometimes I use the spoolie I used for the wax, and then sometimes I just use the spoolie on the edge of my brow pencil. One thing I do really like about the Patrick Ta brow wax is it holds your brows, but you can still brush through them. They just have more, they have kind of a hairspray feeling to them. So we'll move on to this brow. So this brow is more difficult than this brow. This brow kind of just does its own shape. I don't really have to do much to this brow, honestly. This one kind of has a mind of its own. Like the front here kind of grows up, straight up. This side, the front kind of starts growing over. So the shapes are not the same, but remember, your brows are sisters, not twins, okay? So I kind of do the same thing on this brow. I start kind of on the bottom and just start my shape. And then after I get a good shape on the bottom part, I start making my little strokes. And I do the same kind of thing on this side. I don't have really much hair at all up near the arch area, so I do kind of fill that in a little bit. And then every once in a while I take my spoolie and kind of brush through them. And then I kind of do the same thing in the front on this side. I kind of lightly fill in from where I made that bottom line and very lightly kind of flick upward. Not pressing too hard, I just kind of barely flick up. So if you have brows that are already pretty full in the front, honestly, you could probably just get away with underlining underneath, brushing up, and that's it. But on this eyebrow, in the very, very front, I don't have much brow hair. I have a little bit, but not a ton. So I kind of do the same thing over here. This is where it starts. This is the arch, and this is the end. That's really it, you guys. I don't do anything super crazy. I usually will kind of go back through and brush through them one more time. And then if I see anywhere that I missed or I feel like needs a little bit more attention, I'll kind of go back through and do that. But I don't do a whole lot to my eyebrows, and that's just the look that I like. I like them to look filled in and defined, but I also want to see the brow hairs. And if there isn't a brow hair there, then I try my best to make it look like there is with a pencil. And that's really it, you guys. That's all I do to my brows. I never draw a line like on the top outlining them. I feel like that looks way too harsh, so I never do that. That's about it. That's all I do, and I just leave them alone. One last thing I wanted to mention is something that I use a lot, not necessarily in my videos, but just day to day, and that is my e.l.f. Wow Brow. And I actually started using this a few months ago because several of you told me that I needed this product, and you were 100% right. This is fantastic. If I don't feel like getting the brow wax and the spoolie and spraying it and doing all that and then filling in, I will just take this, and again, you get the color, and this actually has little fibers in it, so it helps add just a little bit of fullness to your brows as well. I wear, let's see, neutral brown in this, and I believe I wear neutral brown in the e.l.f. pencil, yes. And I wear universal brown in the Dior one. That's about it, you guys. That's all I do. I keep it very simple and very minimal. But again, this is just how I personally like my eyebrows. I'm not saying that you have to do this by any means. I probably get asked about my eyebrows the most of anything, and I just kind of wanted to have a video that I could refer people to. And that is going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video all about eyebrows. Like I said, I love brows. I think they're so much fun and they're so important with how your makeup looks, how your face looks, and I just wanted to share all of my favorite things with you and kind of my brow philosophy. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you did, I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair01. I will see you in my next video. Remember, simply be you. Bye.